What's happening, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to Junkdrummer TV, where I give my initial reactions, my hot takes, and my analysis on the drummers of today and yesterday, and maybe tomorrow if I stick around that long. I am a professional drum teacher and a gigging musician, and I have been for the last 20 plus years. Welcome to episode 14 from the quarantine, and this quarantine series may be winding down. It may be time to retire my Lysol products. Today is May 14th, and if you are a Soundgarden fan, you know what today is. It's a very sad day indeed for Soundgarden fans because it is the anniversary of Chris Cornell's death. Now, I know I'm a drum channel, and we're of course going to be talking about the great, amazing Matt Cameron. Actually, I've already done a video on Matt Cameron. It was the second video that I ever did. That also reminds me, this is the 1-year anniversary of me starting this channel. But please go check out the first Matt Cameron video. But as I said, I know I'm a drum channel, but we're probably going to be talking about Chris Cornell a lot because I feel like talking about him. I feel like honoring him in my own little way. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I am a card-carrying member of the Gen X generation. And grunge music changed my life. It's one of the reasons that I am still a musician to this day. And I love all of the big four. I also like Screaming Trees a lot. You know, they were part of that. They were kind of a minor grunge band. I mean, let's be honest, Stone Temple Pilots was a grunge band too. They just didn't live in Seattle. But Matt Cameron has influenced me literally my whole life from the beginning of when I got a drum set when I was 16 years old. Please stick around for the middle of the video. I'm going to be doing what I hope is an important PSA. I think that PSA will be even more relevant, especially in the times that we are in. And then, to lighten the mood, at the end of the video, I will tell a story about how Soundgarden's bass player spit on me. So let's get into Matt Cameron, Chris Cornell, Soundgarden, doing Spoonman. Yep. Rock and roll was so goddamn good in the 90s. Man, that is one of the all-time great voices, if not the greatest voice that's ever been recorded. It's somewhere between him and Jeff Buckley. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to make this, a drum video, make it drum-centric, but I'm just going to talk about Chris Cornell a lot. Let's get something out of the way technical about this. This song is in 7/4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and take it up. 7/4. 7/4 is a much I think easier odd time to play in than like say 7/8 because you're basically playing a measure of 4 and a measure of 3, and the way that the guitar riff is set up in this, it's a real strong 4, and in that measure of 3, he always does that black out, you know, to kind of like put a punctuation at the end of the 7/4 measure. They use odd times wonderfully. Matt Cameron is a master of that. He doesn't do that anymore with Pearl Jam, really. Yeah, Chris Cornell. So, he was just a horrifyingly beautiful man. When I was first trying to learn this song back in the day, that let me bring it back. I didn't sing it right, but that little offbeat that he ends on the crash there, I think it's an E somewhere. That kept me up at night when I was way less drummer than I am now. Check out the way that he ends on an offbeat here. Yeah, I think it's an E. Yeah, man. 18, 19, 20-year-old Steve was perplexed. His style, and like we're seeing Matt Cameron in his natural habitat. Not to say that he doesn't kill it in Pearl Jam. Let's go ahead and address that. In the Pearl Jam video, I got a lot of comments saying, and it was him playing, was it Even Flow or Alive? I've done so many videos now, I can't remember. But it was, you know, a song he hadn't recorded, and a lot of commenters said they didn't like the way that he played, and he did play it more straight ahead rock, and then was playing the song a lot faster. Dave Abruzzese is my favorite Pearl Jam drummer. Jack Irons was great. They were all great. Dave Revizis was my favorite, and his feel is completely different. When Matt Cameron is playing in Soundgarden, like I said, we can observe the animal in its natural habitat. He is Soundgarden. Well, Chris Cornell is Soundgarden, but Matt Cameron's, no other drummer could play in Soundgarden. I actually have a friend named Josh, and I know this is going to be hard to believe, but he used to be in a band called Abdullah. Check him out, and he's a friend of mine, and he's the only other drummer I know that could play in Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. Matt Cameron has this, plotty, stomping way of playing, and his beat placement is just real, the only way I can describe it is how the walkers in Hoth and Star Wars walked. That's the way that Matt Cameron plays. I remember where I was when I heard about fucking Chris Cornell. Eddie Vedder's the last man standing, unfortunately. If you listen to the lyrical content of Chris Cornell and Kurt Cobain and Lane Staley, I think the reason why this music has hit generations so hard, and I even have kids now growing up being, grunge fans, and I say that word just to classify the era that I'm talking about. The lyrical content of that music was so fucking real, I don't want to sound like that old man, but, right now we've just got, lyrical content about girls' butts, and I like girls' butts, but, I don't need a song about it. Queen already took care of it. Just, taking Xanaxes and, going up into club, and just the lyrical content is just so shallow and fucking just superfluous, I think would be the word to put it. These guys were, they were just bearing their soul for everyone to read, and that's real brave. I'm a songwriter too, and I know that I've written a lyric and be like, well, I can't say that out in the world because people know that's what I think. And especially Chris Cornell, his lyrical content was so great. I think one of the best lyrics that he ever wrote was Cochise by Audioslave. Go read the lyrics to that. Man, when you read those lyrics, dude, it tells you, it tells you what's going to happen. Yeah, man. Matt Cameron, all-time great drummer, or all-time great good-looking drummer. It's a great little rudimental thing and accent thing. He's playing some double strokes there on the hi-hat during this breakdown, and his placements of those hi-hat openings are very kind of a little atypical, and they just work so wonderfully off of what the guitar breakdown is. It just pushes that guitar riff along. I've been saying Jedi a lot on my channel. You can tell I've been watching Clone Wars a lot, but it's Jedi shit. It's next level musicianship. Yeah, it's just stomping. Just the only way I can describe his feel of drumming. I read a Modern Drummer once where Neil Peart said that Matt Cameron was his favorite new drummer. This is an old Modern Drummer, of course. Okay, before the drum breakdown, because I want to focus on hearing the drum breakdown. Here's my PSA. We all know what happened to Chris, right? And I think we should all be worried about it even more right now because we're in quarantine. And it's a terrible place to be, and it can put you in a dark headspace. And, we know what happened, and we know why. And if Chris Cornell's case doesn't show you that everyone could be susceptible to this, fuck, what could? Let's just, Chris Cornell. This guy had, let's say it's the word, he had massive depression. And this guy was one of the all-time greatest singers ever. He's like on the Mount Rushmore of singers. He was infinitely talented. His songwriting, was a guitar player. He was loved by millions. Millions of people loved and worshipped him. Let's be honest. He's so goddamn handsome. He's one of the best looking human beings that's ever lived. He makes me doubt my sexuality on a regular basis. Look at him. He is a god among men. He had a beautiful wife, and he had children. Beautiful children. He had millions of dollars, and life was just open to him to do with what he wanted to. And if that guy can succumb to this, then anyone can. So let's use this tragedy as a way to, get out the word. So I'm going to put a phone number right here. And if you feel like you're going down the road of Chris Cornell and Kurt Cobain, call that phone number or call a family member. Call someone, because someone loves you and someone cares about you. I mean, shit. Chris Cornell had 25 million people that he could have called, and he didn't. And we don't get any wonderful art from him anymore. And that's a fucking drag. So let's try to extract some good from this tragedy and use him as an example and know that it could happen to anyone. If it happened to Chris Cornell, it could happen to everybody. Okay, I got through that. So yeah, call that phone number, call someone. Don't end up like Chris Cornell and all the other people that have succumbed. And I know that right now is a terrible time for it. I mean, shit, there's a reason why they quarantine prisoners as a punishment. Being stuck by yourself, man. I've struggled with a little bit of the blues during this time. But end of PSA. Let's get back to honoring this man and this band. Drum sounds so great. Yeah, Ben Shepherd spit on me. Stick around for that. I mean, the people who complain about him, I gotta get those wood hoop drums. I gotta get those wood hoops for my drums. The people who complain about him in Pearl Jam, I understand it a little bit. I think that... Yes. Such a good band. They're such a good band live. Finish that last thought. I think the people who complain about Matt Cameron playing in Pearl Jam, I think it's in regards to the part of the discography that he wasn't on originally. I think his feel is so much different than Cruisin' and Aberzeese and Jack Irons. I think that kind of messes with people. I think the stuff that he did, that he recorded that are, his songs, I think they're wonderful. And I think that he does justice to that old discography as well. But I can see, I'm going to do a Dave Aberzeese video very soon, and we will see the difference in the F-E-E-L, the feel of it. I know with my accent, it's F-I-L-L and F-E-E-L kind of sounds the same. But I can understand why people complain about him playing in Pearl Jam. I dig it, though. God, Chris Cornell, man. I never understood how Ben could play with his bass solo. That whole thing right there was just a crescendo, and the peak was right here. Oh God, that voice! God damn, that voice! Man, if hearing him sing don't inspire you to play drums, you're not a drummer. We don't just get inspiration from other drummers. God, man, could you imagine being on stage and getting to feel that live in your monitors? Damn, that takes me back. That shit right there, that was my mother's milk. That was what made me want to be a drummer, was, the Big Four, and Lee Von Helm and Phil Collins. So, let's see, let's wrap this up. So, Matt Cameron, we got to see him at his peak, at his greatest. We don't see Matt Cameron at his greatest with Pearl Jam because it's a different thing. Pearl Jam is more just a kind of a straight-ahead rock and roll band with rock and roll drums. Soundgarden is built from the bottom up on top of Matt Cameron. It's him and Kim. That's to me the cornerstone, the bedrock of what Soundgarden's built on. So you're going to see Matt shine more in that situation. So that is my memorial video for Chris Cornell. I want to say this first before I get to this is a great story, I think. Chris Cornell, I saw it live. I saw it in Lollapalooza in '96. And when he would sing live and he would open up his head voice, oh my God, it's one of the most impressive things that I've ever witnessed. It's like seeing like the Statue of Liberty up close. When he opened his head voice, it felt like he could fill up the whole Grand Canyon without amplification, just acoustic. He could just do that primal head voice scream, and it would feel like it would fucking fill up the whole Empire State Building. It was so powerful. His voice is as powerful as John Bonham's drumming. It's as powerful as a punch from Conor McGregor. It's just one of the greatest things that you can put in your ear is Chris Cornell's voice. And on today, the anniversary of his death, let's all send love to his family and his bandmates, and let's rock all that Soundgarden today. I highly suggest Down on the Upside. That's my all-time favorite. Bad Motorfinger's great. They're all great. They're all fucking great. My favorite is Down on the Upside. But man, I want to be riding my bike later on today, and I want somebody to come by me and be cranking some Soundgarden, because that'll make my day. So here's the story about Ben Shepherd spitting on me. I saw him in Lollapalooza in 1996. I went with two hairdressers that were very agreeable. And these ladies took I would have been 19 or 20 at that time. These ladies took a 19, 20-year-old Steve and gave me a ticket, and we went to Lollapalooza. And on that bill, it was Rancid, the Ramones, Soundgarden, Metallica when that still mattered, and the special guest was the Violent Femmes. And me and these young ladies spent all day getting to the front of the stage. It took all day. I can't remember the exact order. God, that was such a good concert, man. I got to see the Ramones. Rancid played right before the Ramones. What's better than that? But we spent all day. And I had to end up kind of babysitting because the girls got into a altered headspace, so I was babysitting a lot. But I was able to herd these cats, and it was like herding cats, all the way to the front of the stage, right in time for Soundgarden to play. We spent all day doing that. We were spent all day watching the show and gradually getting up to the front of the stage because I was going to fucking experience Soundgarden as close as I possibly could. And when we got up there, I ended up in front of Ben. And I was in front of Ben because he was here, and then, there was a hole from Chris, and I could see Matt Cameron, because I was coming to class. I was going to go to school that day, and I did. But then a weird thing happened. So I'm standing there, and I've got these two cooked out girls with me, and there's this crazy dude behind me, and I don't know if Ben Shepherd hooked up with his girlfriend or what, but he spent the whole concert running down and talking shit and giving shit to Ben Shepherd the whole time. And he was right here. And I've never seen anything like that. These were my gods of music, right? Who talk shit. And this dude right here was talking shit to Ben in between every song. Between every song, it was a F you, Ben, you suck, Ben. It was ridiculous. And Ben kind of took it, and he took it. And at some point, I guess Ben Shepherd got fed up. And I'll never forget this because I was wearing a skater Charlie Brown shirt. Some skater company had made a Charlie Brown shirt. I was wearing a Charlie Brown shirt. With the little squiggies down at the bottom. Look like Charlie Brown. I will really look like Charlie Brown now if I shave my beard off. So Ben Shepherd eventually got fed up and looked at the guy, flipped him off. I think he may even gave him the stone cold double barrel, and then spit at him. But it hit me on my shirt. So I look down and there's spit on my shirt, and I look up at Ben and I'm like, why? And he goes, Man, sorry. And that is my story about how Ben Shepherd was spitting at another guy and hit me. So, there is my emotional Chris Cornell video. The best way we can honor people like this, listen to their music and let it enrich you. And turn on your kids. Parents out there, turn your kids on to Soundgarden and then give them a bit of the big four as well. So, Chris Cornell, thank you for all the songs you gave us, man. We appreciate it. And keep practicing until it's easy.